Halo Infinite has nailed its last two updates and has seen some pretty positive reception, but nonetheless, players are regularly asking what is next for Halo. Do we have campaign DLC coming? What about the game mode Certain Affinity is working on? Is Season 6 the final season? We'll talk about all of that and speculate as to what the future will be in this video. So without looking too deeply into leaks or trying to figure things out from job postings on 343's side or even looking at people's LinkedIn profiles, it's tough to say. All indications point to Halo Infinite multiplayer being around for a little bit longer than I think most people had expected, at least before the turnaround occurred. Unisec tweeted out about a month ago that they are doing a fundamental overhaul to the networking in Halo Infinite. This kind of a statement just resonates with me in the sense that it's probably a hefty undertaking, probably something that indicates they have quite a few seasons left in the tank for supporting Halo Infinite. Now, I don't believe for a second that 343 isn't already working on something new. I feel like development studios always have projects and ideas running. It just depends on how much focus is on it and what the time frame is for when it will be ready. Let's talk about campaign DLC first. I would love to see another step in the Halo Infinite universe on the campaign or the PvE side. I thought they did a really good job stepping into the semi-open world space. Not perfect, it had shortcomings, but it was a very fun return to roots, and you can tell by the review scores most people enjoyed Halo Infinite campaign. Now, whether the Infinite campaign is held up as well as the older, more traditional Halo campaigns, that one is up for debate. I'm certainly not looking forward to playing through Infinite like 2 or 3 or 4 times, the way that I would with like a Reach or a Halo 3. However, what isn't up for debate is the strong desire for campaign DLC or something new on the single player side of the game. With Season 5, the whole player base has seen how great enemy AI in Forge has been. If you've seen some of the firefight videos that I've put together, playing against enemies with friends is a ton of fun. And there's a lot of already forged campaign missions that show the pure potential that could be here. This is absolutely an area that Infinite is severely lacking in, and it's the PvE side. Also, I don't think anyone is stating that we need another Master Chief story right away. I feel like they could totally explore some of the other characters within the universe. Jump back in time to the release of Halo Wars 2. If you played through that game's campaign, it did a remarkable job, bringing to the forefront the classic Halo vibes with characters that really aren't at the forefront of most of the stories within the universe. In many ways, after Halo Wars 2 dropped, so much of the community feedback was, we want this type of game, except we want to be boots on the ground. We want to follow Jerome. We want to be one of these characters, one of these units in this grand scale UNSC battle. Imagine them introducing a few new enemy factions to fight against, so it's not just banished all the time. That would be amazing. Now, do I think something like that is coming in the near future? I truly don't know. I feel like they would definitely be very quiet on the campaign side if they did have something brewing. If I'm being totally realistic, I don't see any new single player content for Halo dropping in the next 2 years. However, I don't think it's just going to be only Infinite seasons for 2 more years. I think we're going to see or hear something about the Certain Affinity game mode in the next year and a half. I really thought we were going to see something at Halo Worlds about it. And I also have heard from, reading leaks and seeing your guys' comments that apparently Tatanka is no more. But I have a feeling that Certain Affinity, whatever they were working on, since they kind of announced it, didn't announce it, is going to come to fruition. I don't think it's going to just disappear forever. At least the Hopium is not letting me believe that. When it comes to waiting for that Certain Affinity game mode, I do think we're just going to be sitting in a stasis now of new seasons for Halo Infinite. This is the first season we've gotten to see the new operation style, so Season 6 will likely bring with it another operation and some new things to go through. I am curious what the big bombshell, new modes, new sandbox items, what is the really exciting things that are going to be coming? We know there's a few sandbox things that have been leaked, the cool brute-looking shotgun thing, and then, a few pieces of equipment and whatnot. I try not to talk about too much leaks here because oftentimes it's just in progress work, and sometimes it doesn't come to fruition and people build expectations that don't get delivered on. I feel like we'll definitely get a Season 7 and a Season 8 and probably a Season 9, and that would then bring us sort of to the end of 2024, at which point I really don't know what is the plan, what is going to happen with Halo Infinite. We've discussed the idea of Halo Infinite 2.0. We know that Unreal Engine is something that was being considered heavily. If you look back earlier this year from Jason Schreier's article, they were hiring for people with Unreal experience. It's really tough to say because all of the user-generated content in Infinite is getting so good right now that for them to just bring out a sequel and leave that potentially behind, Well, I don't know if that is the best choice. But then again, depending on timelines, maybe we're talking 2025 here. That point, maybe people are done. They've had their Infinite experience, as ironic as the name sounds, and they're ready for Halo 8.6 or whatever it's going to be called. So to recap, I do think they're probably going to be working on single player stuff, but we're not likely going to see anything new that way for a few years. Same thing, I don't think we're getting a new multiplayer Halo for 2 years or longer. I think they're going to fundamentally change the netcode, like Unyshek said, and then maybe we'll see something from Certain Affinity or this new hyped behind-the-scenes game mode that does exist but doesn't exist, and all that jazz. All the while, we're getting consistent seasonal updates to Infinite, and hopefully some really cool new pivotal game modes, sandbox items, and all the like. But that's just my pure speculation. Would love to know what you think about all this down below. When do you think we're getting it? What's up? What is the future? I would love to read those comments. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, like, do the YouTube things, follow me, and we'll see you again in the next one.